students and friends. This is Michelle from Education University of Hong Kong. Today, I would like to share with you the research I conducted on family language policy among South Asian families in Hong Kong. Firstly, I would like to briefly introduce the social, cultural, and linguistic background of Hong Kong context. Hong Kong is a multicultural society composed of various ethnic groups. The ethnic minority population in Hong Kong has increased by 71% in the past decade. Among the total population of nearly 8 million Hong Kong residents, around 8% are non-Chinese Asians, including Indonesians, Filipinos, Indians, Pakistanis, Japanese, Thais, and other Asians. I traced a family with 3 generations with regards to their family language policy. I've adopted a fluid and historical view on family language policy across time and space, and I have taken into consideration of the influences of socio-political and economic structures. I've also taken into consideration the participants' experiences at the meso level of relationality and networks, workplace, schools, gatherings, and other fields. Intergenerational transformation in family language policy from the 1970s until now has been documented through a retrospective way. The findings suggested that while the second generation parents wanted their children to be fluent in English, Cantonese, and Putonghua, the first generation parents put sole emphasis on English. The second generation parents have a tendency towards multilingualism from monolingualism adopted by their parents. This could be explained by the people's attitudes towards different languages in the 1970s and 80s. At that time, English was commonly used in Hong Kong's elite community, while Cantonese was largely regarded as a daily language of the working class. The fact that the first generation encouraged their children to learn English, but they don't encourage their children to learn a Chinese and heritage language, can be seen as reflecting parents' desire and expectation that the children be fully acculturated into the English-speaking elite community in Hong Kong at that time. However, the second generation, they are around 50 years old now, personally experienced a lot of obstacles in terms of school choices and interpersonal communication due to their limited knowledge of written Chinese. The second generation South Asian population felt helpless and even unanchored when they tried to claim a legitimate identity in the schools, in the heritage community, and later in the workplace. That explains why they would like their children to be proficient in the local language and be identified by the local people. The second generation realized that strategy of speaking native-like English only and making others forget their heritage identity was unworkable. They also identified themselves as in between the host society and heritage country with a sense of belonging to nowhere as a piece of clay. Therefore, they encouraged their children to study different languages and placed their children in mainstream schools to learn Chinese as a first language and also grasp opportunities for their children's heritage language learning. For the second question about the language policy and education policy in Hong Kong, I think the trilingual and biliterate ideology, which means English, traditional Chinese in written form and Cantonese and Putonghua in spoken form, is evident in everyday discourse in Hong Kong. The ideology is identifiable in educational and public discourses, although policymakers, media commentators, academics, and practitioners debate issues around such subjects as equality, equity, and race with reference to the reality and that Hong Kong is a multilingual society. Public discourses tends to stress English and Chinese languages and put aside other languages. In doing so, public discourse is risking marginalize those languages such as Punjabi, Urdu, Hindi, Nepali, and Tagalog, spoken by South Asian groups. The curriculum in Hong Kong schools has been criticized as promoting an over-competitive atmosphere. The curricula is reported to be too difficult for the majority of local students, not to mention the South Asian students whose English and Chinese proficiency are it to be enhanced to secure a position in tertiary education. Actually, only 1% of the South Asian children would have the opportunity to enter tertiary education institutions in Hong Kong. In most cases, South Asian students' English and Chinese level and overall academic achievement make them very difficult to enter universities. So that's all for my sharing. I'm looking forward to comments and views from audience and panel. So talk to you very soon.